Hi, guys. It's Kiana F. Brown, your forgiveness expert. And thank you all for tuning in to this new episode of Forgiveness Across the Nation. We have with us Joanna D. Samuels. She's hailing all the way from the Virgin Islands. We are super excited to hear her journey, to hear her story, her transparency, her openness. But, guys, this is something that we must share right now because I need to let you know, first and foremost, that there's something that we need to do. And that something is we need to set aside everything that we thought we knew. So here is the prayer. Set aside prayer. God, please set aside everything that I think I know about myself, my brokenness, my spiritual path, and even you, Lord. I pray for an open mind and a new experience of myself, understanding my brokenness, my spiritual path, and especially you. So, guys, I am super excited to bring to you today Joanna Samuels. So, I'm going to need you to do something for me right now. And some of you can start watch parties. You can do whatever it is that you need to do. I am trying to share this right now. So, just make sure that you are able to share this and that you're able to get this message out and get excited because this is going to be a really, really transformational story, transformational testimony. So, guys, I am excited to bring to you none other than the beauty queen, the accessory queen, Miss Joanna D. Samuels. Hi, Joanna. Oh, I can't hear you, love. I can't hear you. All right, guys, give us just a second. I cannot hear her, and we need to make sure that we are hearing everything that she's saying. Nope, nope, I can't hear you. Yep. So give us just a second, guys. I'm excited to hear. I've been a part of her life for quite some time, probably about 3 years. And as I'll share really quickly as she's getting her sound together, we did this all beforehand, right? But things happen as technology. This beautiful bracelet, let me see, where's my camera? This beautiful bracelet, these earrings, these necklace, this all comes from At a Touch Boutique in the Virgin Islands. Let me see if I can hear you now. You're back? I can't hear you. No. Okay. I can hear you now. No. We were perfect, y'all. We were ready to go. We were ready to share this story, this testimony. And all of a sudden now, we cannot hear her. No.
What about now?
There you go. Awesome sauce.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you
All right.
now.
So we're not gonna have the headphones.
Okay, that's fine. We got to work with what we can work with today. I'm just excited to finally sit down and have this conversation with you. Um, and so basically what we'll be sharing today, you guys, is the life that Joanna has lived before forgiveness, the life that she has lived in the process of getting to forgiveness, and the life that she is living in, the life that she is embarking on right now with the power of forgiveness. So I'm not going to hold the floor too long. But for those of you who are entrepreneurs, those of you who are in the creative space of building things, this is a testimony that you do not want to miss. She has some things that she has to share and just let you know all about this journey. People say they want to be entrepreneurs, right? What is it truly to be an entrepreneur? So, Joanna, please share with the nation everything that's on your heart, the things that you've been going through. I'm excited to hear.
Thank you so much, Kiana. We talked about this back in November,
Mhm.
right? And in the midst of our conversations, I revealed to you, of course, that after 11 years of having my brick and mortar retail store,
Mhm.
it, I was letting go of it, and there's a whole story, beautiful story that I had to embrace that is behind of that. And I'm going to share it actually for the first time. Of course, here for
Thank
some
you,
people,
Nation. You hear that, Nation? She's sharing it with us first.
it pretty much for the first time, a few individuals here and there, I was able to speak on a platform when women heal, and I shared a little bit on there. So I am going to also share that out, and it's only fitting because I'm pretty much like 2 weeks since,
Mhm.
almost 2 weeks, right, since I closed the boutique.
Okay.
Um, some would ask me, hey, are you emotional? What was the process like? And this is what I
Mhm.
want to share tonight, because in the midst of me being an entrepreneur, and as you mentioned earlier, it takes a lot. It takes a lot. There's a lot of sacrifice, there's a lot of tears, there's a lot of commitment. Um, and it's so fitting for me to be on your platform as we're going to talk about forgiveness, okay? Because
Yes.
I've had to forgive myself with some things as a wife, a mother, and of course being an entrepreneur. So I'm going to share from that standpoint.
Okay.
Not 11 years ago, opening the boutique, that whole story is I was working my government job, and it got to a point after, maybe after a year, I didn't feel fulfilled. I felt there was something more. And
Mhm.
girl, I'm like an Oprah girl, okay? It is what it is. All right. So she was all in the movement back then about living your best life, doing things that
Mhm.
makes you happy, living in your highest potential. And I was always attracted to that. So I feel that she was one of those guiding forces that God
Mhm.
allowed me to see and to follow and to connect with on that journey. So while I
Mhm.
was there at my desk, I pretty much found different ways of saving funds. And as time went along, after working my government job, I opened my boutique without a business loan. Okay,
Mhm.
pretty much planned my business at my desk. Now, when I first opened the doors to Add a Touch Accessory Boutique, I felt immediately, Kiona, that there was something special. It was like right there and then God was revealing something to me. And it's just so fitting that when it was time to decorate my store, I have all these empowerment words on the walls behind of me, especially pray, faith, believe, live. And right at my counter, this plaque was right there. Joy was right there in front of me.
Mhm.
And yes, serving women with beautiful jewelry, helping women to feel beautiful. Not only, yes, Fiona has that piece, and we're going to tell the story how you got that piece. Beautifying women from the outside. And of course, I was also working on myself at the same time. So, having the boutique, I have met so many amazing women. I've met so many strangers that have now become, close friends. I've connected with mentors, coaches. I met you through one of our mentors, Regina Robinson. And, that's very special. I've met quite a bit of individuals. But let me go ahead and fast forward. Having the business, as I said earlier, it just created. I'm not gonna cry tonight because I'm a big
No,
girl. Okay. No, no, no. I'm not gonna cry. You know what I mean? It's
but it's okay. Tears are good. That is a cleansing.
girl, I cried so many tears already. It's all good. I just want to make sure that I get the right words out
Mhm.
to especially women tonight and to young girls especially. Just having the boutique and being in so many different conversation with women as I bedazzle them in front of the mirrors, with the jewels. I got to find out so many different things that not only I go through them, but women go through them on so many different levels. They're women, especially that have so many dreams within, and they're holding it in, and they're not filtering it out the way how it should for so many different reasons. Not believing in themselves, maybe waiting to be validated by other individuals. And that's something that we do, but that's, for another time.
Mhm.
Or, of course, we take care, the story, we take care of everybody else, and we kind of put ourselves on, a lower pedestal, We don't give ourselves the advantage. So of course we get the burnout. So
Yeah.
with that being said, the boutique just became a place of, some women would say, especially when I was when the boutique was closing or transitioning. Let's use the word transitioning, because this is what this is. It's not closing. I'm not ripping it away. It's just a transition, and it
Mhm.
was just time for me to let it go. But many women has revealed to me, and young girls, that it was like a safe haven. You know, women would come
Wow.
in there and have their lunch, or they would ask, can I come and have my lunch here? Can I come and sit down? Can I read some quotes on the wall? And I have truly been inspired by women here in St. Croix, women who have traveled from the mainland. I think I have someone who is on here. I saw her pop up, and that is Miss Lander. She was someone, a prophet, yes, as she is called, that walked into my boutique almost 5, 6 years ago, and we have just formed an unbelievable friendship. We traveled to
Amen.
South Africa together. She came back another time for one of my um something I was having at the time. Is called Surrender It, a woman's true calling, where that is this grand accessory party that women get together to buy not only exclusive pieces for themselves or a gift for someone, but one of the things that I wanted to create in that atmosphere is women leaving with something more. They're
Mhm.
leaving with I would say nourishment to the soul, the heart, the mind, because you never know what someone else is going through. It's pretty much
Yeah.
the same story, Kiona. So I just think for us, what you're doing, what I'm doing, what other women are doing, we're just pretty much forming this link and connecting so we can just help the next woman behind of us to propel. And it's not only those women behind of us, but there are women who is in front of us, who has on the side of us, who have stumbled, women who are in front of us who have stumbled. So again, it's just a link. All right.
Mhm.
So with all of that being said, this is where the transition took place after learning some hard knock lessons. And I made a comment the other day when I was speaking on the When Women Heal call, and I'm comfortable with saying it. I don't know how some will take it. Like, what did she say? But
Mhm.
here it is. I I can honestly say that along the line, I am the daughter of the Most High who attempted to run away from him.
Mm.
Did you catch that?
I did. I think that commonly there are a lot of us who try to run away from him. I personally tried to run away from him. He was like, where you going? Where you going?
Yes, yes.
I totally understand.
That calling on your life. I
And
personally set out just to open a boutique. Really and truly, that's what it is. But along the line, Lord said, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, you're going to speak, you're going to inspire. I never sat down and strategized things that I am doing now or attempting to do, or even what coaches and mentors have seen in me and
mhm,
have trained me to do. Okay. So, as you know, a few years ago, we had Hurricane Maria,
mhm,
which was a category 5, and it devastated here in St. Croix. And then we had a previous storm that the sister island, St. Thomas, was also affected. Now, that storm, as a little girl, I went through Hurricane Hugo. Forgot how old I was then, but I was a young teen. And this storm pose such a major danger to us that we know exactly what it is. When you hear a category 5, I
mm,
mean that is pure devastation. So because of where I was in my business, the stuff that I was doing, stuff I didn't have in place, and also the lack of, I pray to God not to allow my store, my boutique, to become damaged. Of course, I was in the mall area, and we have gotten flooded in there before, but I know what it's like. So I pray to God for a few things, for my store not to be destroyed, because I couldn't handle if that was the case. My
mm.
mom has passed on, my sister has passed on, and of course, I'm taking care of my elderly dad. And where he lives, you know, big house. I'm right here right now. This is my house, my other house. um, not for his roof to come off. Kiona, I mean, it's pure devastation when these things happen. And I
Yeah,
knew
I can't even imagine.
handling these different things, I know what it was like. So I pray to God for all these different things. And That night, it was sounds that I don't even think that I heard during Hurricane Hugo when I was younger. But
Mm.
that morning when I woke up and my husband called me to the door to see the outside, okay? As I was walking through my house, I clearly heard, I'm telling you, I clearly just felt and heard everything that you prayed for me for may not be the way that you expected.
Mm.
Trust me, trust your process. It was along that line. When I opened the door, it was just, I said, wow. Said, wow. Okay. We had to wait for some things to be cleared out before I can get to my dad. And before I got to my dad while driving here, it was, going trees, different things knocked all over. But
Wow.
before I reached to my dad, I said a prayer and I could see my dad's home from a distance. So before I could see the house, I heard that saying again. And lo and behold, as my husband was driving, I could see my father's house in the distance. Half of the roof went. Half of the
Mm.
roof went. I did not need that.
Wow.
So of course, here in the islands, we pretty much just go through a process. So with that being said, school was not going to be open in a timely manner. So my husband and I, we made the decision to send my teenage children away. Okay, so to live with their aunt and uncle in Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, wow.
And yes, so my eldest son, of course, stayed with us. He was already 19 at the time. So he was already working. So he was here with us. So Soraya and Jaden, they went away. And keep in mind, when we had to leave them at the airport because the flight was taking such a long time, so everyone already had boarded. They was just waiting to take off. So by the time we got home, after 10 minutes, 15 minutes, about 15 minutes, there was the plane flying over my house with my babies.
Mm.
Kiona, that was so hard. My kids moved to Atlanta, Georgia for a year. So of course, even in the midst of all of that, I didn't tell you about the store. My store was one of the only ones in there. We had another one, which is the post office, that got completely flooded. I had carpet on the floor, all of that, went on. So I was one of the last ones to open up in there. But in the midst of all of that was happening, I fell into a depression.
Mm.
My husband would come and he would kiss me goodbye in the morning, and at that time I had the pixie cut, so I would just wet my hair in the shower, just put some gel in my hair because I had nowhere to go. Different things were going on. There was no electricity, all these little different things. So there was a lot of praying. There was a lot of silence. There
Mhm.
was only a few people that could have reached out to me at the time,
Mhm.
because of the way how everything was. I would get dressed, I would go out, I would have on my long maxi dress, and I would put on my shades and my power lipstick, and you know, people will greet each other on the street, and we would, how you doing to each other, and they would be, man, you look so good, but if they only know behind the shades what was
Behind
going
your
on.
camouflage.
Oh, yes, I had to deal with my father's home. My kids was not here. My store finances was just shattered at the time, so I did not need this. He made a comment one time, and he said to all the business owners, go to the unemployment and so forth. Whatever
Wow.
whatever your situation was. So I gathered myself and I went. Okay, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. But here's the thing: when I stood in the line, for me and for where I was, you know, why was I there in that situation?
Mm.
You know, and it's a little bit more to that, Kiona. But because this is the Forgiveness Nation, God has put me in the realm that I could not only talk about fashion, but I can speak to business owners,
Mhm.
entrepreneurs. I can speak in that realm, and I can also speak to inspire. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it as that, as to why I said to myself why I am in this line and what happened and what I did to cause it and what I could have done better to be in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So in the midst of the depression that I was in, there's only one person that could have get into that vein with me, and that was God.
Amen.
It was
Amen.
only God. Now I said all of this. I told you that entire story the best way that I could to come to this point. In my most weakest moment, okay, that is when I clearly heard, when it's time to renew your lease, you're not going to. All
Mm.
I ask of you is to put things in order. When it's time for you to renew your lease, you're not
So,
going to
so I
put
want to
things in
ask
order.
you, what was that like for you?
What's that?
Because we hear from God, and sometimes we battle with, is this me talking? Is this God talking? Is this my frustration? Is this my
Yes.
depression talking? So what was the process that you had to go through to, like, really, first of all, no, wait a minute, this is God telling me, to end this. But what was truly the catalyst that allowed for Joanna to say that this ends, this season is coming, this season of this, like you said earlier, it's not over, but this season, what was the catalyst that allowed for you to know that the trajectory of that whole environment that you lived in was going to change?
Kiona, to answer that, I have been forming a relationship with my Heavenly Father from beforehand. So
Mm-hmm.
that was one of the ways that it was easy for me to know that it was Him.
Mm-hmm.
And I stopped and I paid attention. Is that me? Am I running from something? But very early on, I could tell. And I truly know, I'm not going to say that I feel or I think. I truly know that it was of
Okay.
Him because of what I shared with you earlier. I attempted to run from Him. you know God sets out, we know that things that put positions that we are in and places and people who we are around, some of us
Yeah.
shouldn't even be in some of these situations here. But if
Yeah.
we would only take time to stop, take time to listen, take time to connect, we would hear.
Yeah.
Okay, so keep in mind that this is how special it is. That was 2017. I hope I'm right. 2017 in September, October, November. But um, my lease had at least 2 more years to end.
Mm-hmm.
So God gave me time to grieve the process. I like to say that I not like to say that, but I just have to say it that way. He gave me time to
Mm-hmm.
grieve that process, because anyone who knows me, especially here on island, I'm Miss Lander from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. She's on. My boutique, 420 square feet. It was my home away from home.
Mm-hmm.
The ambiance that I created for the clientele that came in, the signature quotes on the wall, the vibrant colors, the smell. You come into the store, you're smelling cherry or pina colada or something tropical. It's well known for that. And of course, I have the nice music, just different styles of music. Sometimes when you come in, we're listening to the ministry. So it was very homey. That was truly my
Mm-hmm.
home away from home as a woman, outside of my children and my husband and my house. Everything outside, that was my home away from home. So for me, it was like, what? Let it go. This is my home. So it wasn't abruptly done.
Mm-hmm.
And now we just ended 2019 and we are in 2020. God
Yes.
knew the things that I was going to be experiencing was within that time frame, and I
Mm-hmm.
had to get a lot of hard knock lessons. um I did start it little by little to put things in order at home, in my
Mm-hmm.
business, but it got to a point that stuff started moving so rapidly. Things that I
Mm-hmm.
have been praying about for years, having a team in place, having certain things in place, getting certain things that I needed or wanted, or to help propel me. It was happening, and it was evident that it was happening. So it got to a point that I was like, this is God. It's
Yeah.
really happening. Yeah, so over a period of time, stuff just started to happen. And as we said earlier, as a business person, it's not always easy. And I just told you about a lot of the good times, but there was a lot of trials that when God said, enough is enough, enough is enough, you know.
I think I want to get into so because we've had a couple of pre-conversations about this. And one of the things that I really want to get into, especially being a woman, being a wife and being a mom, the thing of being a business owner and how it can take you away from your family. And that really spoke volumes to me when we discussed it, because there are some things, some career choices that I've made in the past, and
Mm-hmm.
it's taken me away from my family. Talking about the effect on your family, and then
Yeah,
the effect that it actually has on you, because now you missed, some things.
I missed a lot of time. So just coming up to that also, there's some things I needed to forgive myself for. One being I used to dim my light for other individual, lower my standards, lower my value, even in my boutique space.
Mm,
And I never really allowed it to show, but behind closed doors, God knew what was happening. There were
mm-hmm,
some individuals in my life that I confided in that was along the process with me, just holding me up.
mm-hmm,
And God said, all of that is going to change, but I have got to get the lessons. Now, when it comes to my children, my family, Kiana, I lost a lot of time. I am the mother of a 20-year-old son. That's Trey. Jaden just made 18 on Sunday,
mm-hmm,
and Soraya is 15. She'll be 16 in May, and she's in her last 3 years of high school. So I get to be there with her. Now, if I'm telling you, I have been in business for 11 years with the brick and mortar, the retail store. My kids grew up in the back room of the boutique. There were times that I couldn't find, or not couldn't find, but I didn't have the proper balance. I submerged myself so much within the business.
mm-hmm.
That's what it is, the business at that time. And over a period of time, it's now the brand.
Mm-hmm.
But it came with a lot of sacrifice. And now I am rebuilding and picking up with my children more and more in this
Has,
season and
has
forgiving
there been any
myself.
conversation? Has there been any
I'm
conversation with your kids? Have they expressed to you how
Oh
your
yeah,
entrepreneurship has torn, and I look at it because sometimes I leave my house and I'm going to a class or I'm going somewhere, and Jeremiah is like, "Oh, mommy, you're leaving again." And it's like, okay, I have this thing that I want to stay because that's my baby, but then
yeah.
you gotta to do this thing. What is the conversation that you
Mhm.
have? Because Jeremiah is little, he doesn't understand, he just knows that mommy's leaving. So what's your conversation like? So women entrepreneurs, there are some people that are just tuning in. Before we get to that question, I wanted to give a shout out to Tawana, Jacqueline. We got our unstoppable women on the move in here. Give a shout out to Regina Robinson for actually connecting us all. Landers
Yeah.
here, she's actually tuning in from the Virgin Islands. We got Diane, my mom, in the house. And there are a couple of people that have not commented. I can't see who's watching, but thank you all for tuning in. We are talking with Joanna D. Samuels. She is hailing all the way from the Virgin Islands, because this is Forgiveness Across the Nation. We are tapping
Yes.
into stories that are all over the world, that are abroad, because forgiveness is something that the nation needs in order to heal. And right now she's sharing her testimony, her story, her journey of self-forgiveness through her entrepreneurship and the things that she's gone through in this season that she's in now. And now we're just talking about how entrepreneurship, especially as a mom and a wife, how it can affect your family. And she's going to get into the conversation about the conversations that she has with her children.
Well, first of all, of course, I have to tell the truth. They threw it at me. You know, mommy, you always in the business and you always here. And man, there have been time I had to juggle from here to there. And I did have employees here. Now, let me just say that, you know, I did have employees every so often within the business. But of course, no one necessarily, it's very hard. It's not going to run your business like yourself. And I am very protective of my clientele. You know, I'm one of those. I was like this. Every time someone shops and I greet them, send them off, and that door closed, I walk around the boutique, I straighten up everything again. So when the next person comes in, it's a new experience. Nothing is out of, you know, the floor is swept, any little dirt, you know. So again, I took a lot of time with my boutique and how I cared for my clientele. So I was always there. So my kids threw a lot of that back at me. But of course, like I said, Trey's 20, he's older. Jaden is 18. Even Sunday, I had to stop and remind myself that don't get caught up in the feelings. Forgive yourself. You know, I tell them I love them every day. You know, we have little mini conversations, but they're doing their thing now. You know what I mean? I'm just happy to be there for Soraya. That's the little girl. She's the last baby, and being there for her. Just before I left to come and do this, she said she had her softball in her hand, and she's like, "Mommy, now you're gonna come and watch me play, right? You know, now that you're not in the boutique and you're working from home and you have your team and you're gonna be delegating stuff." And that's another thing, Kiana, we're delegating. You know, I have this amazing young lady, Shay Stanislas, that I'm working with and her team. So I'm taking more of an, you know, things that we have always heard about. Can't do everything on your own.
No.
You know what I mean? I've worked with
I love my team,
here
girl.
and there, but it's you need to, it's always finding the right fit. You're not going to find the right fit all the time.
Yeah.
But in this season, it's more delegating stuff within the brand. So I'm okay with stepping back from everything. God has given me his blessings. You know, I have that one-on-one time. I just don't like, okay, well, God said this, God said that. I take time to just sit, take time to listen. And I'm so blessed to have that connection that I can hear from him. And in this season, he don't want me. Yes, it's a business. Yes, it's a brand. But we need to be mindful of showing up for man, especially in this time, these times, and not showing up for God. So people may not be seeing me on social media as much. That's because my daddy said to step back. And this season is all about obedience and transformation.
Yes.
Before the boutique transition, I had 3 amazing things that happened that it only could have come, of course, from a higher power. He promised me that he would make provision. He promised me that he would take care of certain stuff. And also, as you know, not because, you know, if something doesn't happen, we got to be able to steadfast and be still. There have been times things that I wanted didn't happen, but I'm not gonna, you know, I've trained myself, you know, not to get all caught up in, you know, stepping out to intentionally do it my way, or you know, start carrying on, because I've seen these things happen in front of me time and time again. You know, so
I prayed in this season for God to send me what I'm supposed to be doing, and he's doing just that. And I am like so glad that we're in a space. I mean, we've had conversations about entrepreneurship. It's not an easy thing. It's rewarding, but knowing where you fit, right? And so and not getting upset with the fact that things haven't worked out. You know, in this transition or this relationship that we've had, I've had to transition the business a couple of times. And, you know, I'm just excited that, you know, I've had the confidence to do it, right? Because sometimes we get stuck and then we'll just give up, or we'll just keep, going through the cycle. Jonathan McReynolds has this song called Cycles. And, as conversation we had, that's been something that the both of us have been, going through cycles. But in this season, praise God, we are able to open our eyes and,
Yeah.
step out there in our truth, right? So we've talked about, what it was like, the things that were like a down spiral, especially leading into your depression, the storm,
Mm.
which literally was a storm on the earth, but created a storm on the inside of you, where you started to become depressed, and having to send your children away. God forbid. I can't even imagine not picking my baby up every day from school. But that's something, God gives to those who can handle that dealing. And you've talked about, the ambiance you've had in your shop for the women, and the beautiful pieces that you've been able to bless them with. Some of you may have known that she's done Facebook Lives. I love tuning into your Facebook Lives with your jewelry. But now you're venturing into the same but new, right? You're
Yeah.
still doing your jewelry. You're still going to be able to accessorize women to the gods, um, but you're doing it in a different way. So, what is it like? Um, I'm not going to say starting all over again, but what is
No.
it like going into the new with this? Because this is something new. This is different for you.
Hmm. Well, I'm enjoying the growth. I've been getting some calls, and people have been seeing me on the streets, and they would ask me, "Are you okay? How was everything?" And I just smile. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
I get to stop in that moment and testify to them.
Mhm.
When God said to let go,
Yeah.
we all have something in our life that we're stagnant with. No
Mhm.
one's perfect. And every single time someone is stopped in their track based on what I said, you
Mhm.
know, and the conversation just continues in the parking lot
Mhm.
of the shopping mall for like a half an hour to an hour. You know what I mean? Um, but I'm so relaxed. I'm smiling. I'm content.
Mhm.
And as much as I'm expected to grow, I'm gonna grow. I
Yes, you
had to go
will.
through. I had to go through the lessons. You
Yeah.
know, when you look out there on social media, they're amazing, amazing women. Whether they're speakers,
Mhm.
whether they're in clothing, whether they're in accessories, and they
Mhm.
have thousands and thousands of followers, and big tribes and stuff like that.
Mhm.
We can't envy things like that, because like you have always shared, for me, what is for someone else is for them.
Yes.
What is for me is for me. You know what I mean? um I take time, before God. So I'm okay in that mindset,
Mhm.
that although I had to step back from certain things, that there's room to do it a certain way. And God is a designer of his own. I'll be writing, coming up with ideas and stuff like that. And I'm like,
Mhm.
you know, Daddy, what do you think? I mean, Kiana is like off the chain. It's like amazing. I have a
Yeah.
book with just scrabbling this, that, whether the finances is there to get all these things done, it's gonna happen. God
Yeah.
has even put in the midst of individuals who said, you know what, I want to invest in you. I'm like, what? Individuals who've been watching me for a while,
Yes.
and they're talking to me about stocks and bonds and so forth. And when you get ready to do this, let me know. Before the boutique closed in the month of December, I had two. But of course, I still have to step back and pray about it, and to be mindful at the same
Yes.
time, because not
Yeah.
everything that comes your way is of Him. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? One of the things that I want to venture out to do, and I've always wanted to do it, but because it wasn't the right time or different things did not permit, is designing my own pieces.
Okay.
Kiona, right now, I feel I'm a boss shopper. I love to shop. I'm gonna continue being a shopper, but I
Mhm.
want to design my own pieces, the colors, the beads. You know what I mean? I love shawls, these different stuff. So
Mhm.
I'm actually getting ready to fly out because I'm going to venture out shop, but also I'll be in the front of manufacturers.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So even if it's to start working on creating that one signature piece, I'm
Mhm.
going for it. You know what I mean?
Amen.
So these type of things is what God knew was coming. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Sometimes I just stop and I'm like,
Yeah.
you
Just be
really do
obedient.
things. You really do things in your own time. It's just amazing.
Yes, yes, I love it. I love it. So I am truly excited to have you here. Go ahead and let everybody know how they can stay connected with you, your journey of fabulous pieces to accessorize. And I mean, everything that I'm wearing. Let me see. I'm trying to get in the camera. Everything that I am wearing tonight is actually from Add a Touch Boutique.
I
All
want you to tell everybody how we met.
okay. Go ahead.
Not
And then
sure.
let them know how they can stay connected with you.
Okay, well, first of all, it's Add a Touch Boutique. So the new website is Shop Add a Touch. Shop Add a Touch. I'm saying boutique because that's what we had before. We just simplified some stuff. Okay, so the new site is Shop Add a Touch, and
Is
of
that
course to connect.
ADDA?
Yes, ADDATOUCH. It's all about just simply adding a touch to an already beautiful us.
That's amazing. Okay, so tell the story about how we met, girl.
I was asking you to say it.
Oh,
I'm interviewing you now.
oh look, I'm being interviewed now. Okay.
Yeah.
So we actually met through the Unstoppable Women on the Move. And it was just an amazing event, and she was selling some pieces, and I just was really blown away by all of the things that she had. But these were some colorful pieces that I love colors. Everybody knows I love blue and everything like that. um but that's pretty much it. That's how we met through that event.
And
um
the Unstoppable Women with Regina, it was her retreat in Virginia.
Yep, and we share intimate time together.
Mm-hmm.
Strangers, but
Strangers, yes.
through time, we have developed a bond in a relationship, and I still can't believe that I talked to somebody that's over the seas, that's away from me, and God has just allowed for me to connect just as well as I know He's going to, and is doing international connections so that you can do what it is that He's placed in your heart, the things that you're desiring. Because once we're in Him, we then now begin to desire the things that He wants for us. So just staying in the graces of Him, I know that He's going to give you your heart's desire. And just stay focused, guys. What I got from this message is that, it doesn't have to be over. That we need to be patient in our seasons, and we need to first and foremost be obedient and listen to the true directives of what God has given us to do. And something that I've been in a space of doing is not being in haste and paying attention to
Mm-hmm.
opportunities that come my way, just as you were sharing that some people have presented you with some things. And so before, I was that yes person. Can you do it? Yes. Can you come here? Yes. Can I do it now? Let me pray on that. I'm gonna get back to you. So,
Mm-hmm.
just knowing that, you're in that place where you can actually see where you're going with stopping to look to see where you're going. Sometimes we just
Yeah.
go. I did a Bible study was it yesterday actually, and was talking about how Isaac was blind because of his old age, and he saw some things that looked like the promise that God had for them, but it was that had for him, but it actually wasn't the promise. And he actually had a couple of more years to actually live. It was like 43 more years that he lived. Was rushing away and gave his promise away. And so there are a lot of us who give the promises of God away because we're in a rush. And so, as you're saying, take the time to look and see and not be in a rush, to not be in a hasty spirit, And yeah, I'm just loving your forgiveness process, the transparency that you had. It's hard being a business owner. It is hard, multitasking with family, and what comes first, how to do this, and you've just been through a lot. And I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for sharing
Yeah.
on forgiveness across the
And
nation.
also, and also taking care of ourselves, our health.
Yes.
Our health, that's like a big thing. So this last 2 weeks has been kind of just leveling off, taking care of things at home. My father is an elderly person, so some things that he needed taken care of. So my
Mhm.
routine, from next week is, getting back into my morning routine on
Mhm.
physically exercising, going for walks, taking time, at the gym, just taking care of my health, because I kind of even put that on the back burner a
Yeah.
little bit. Okay, so doing that, and then also scheduling time to sit, come up with my content, have my team hand things over. I want to start like
Mhm.
inspirational blog, um, also a little bit of a fashion blog, and so forth. So
Mhm.
just doing all of these things, and also taking time. They're gonna be at least one day a week after 11 years. At least one day a week, I get up, and after the family leave, I do nothing. Kiana, when I say I do nothing, I do nothing. Okay. I don't ask God for all the blessings already, and He hand them to me, and I'm not playing with it.
Mhm.
I deserve it. I'm okay with saying what I deserve. I'm
Yeah.
standing up more for myself on the way how things I want to do, and in the way how it will be done. But of course, I go to God first, and I asked Him. I said, Daddy. I call Him Daddy. I call Him God. This is the way how I'm feeling. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Some individuals reached out to me yesterday. Said, I haven't seen you on social media and so forth. That's because I stepped back a little bit,
Mhm.
and I'm so comfortable with that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Um, I'm comfortable with that. I know where my resources come from. I look forward to continue, and I do have clients. I have the website. We're just continuing to build the site now more now that the brick and mortar is closed, and continuing to grow in that realm. But I
Mhm.
gotta take time for my mind and for my
Yeah.
spirit realm. And with everything, especially that we're seeing in the world right now, I ain't trying to go off the subject, but it is what it is. We're not gonna camouflage it, sister.
Yeah.
We are in some times right now. So as much as you know the the brand and different things, we want our businesses to grow and all these different avenues. Are we taking time to kneel? Are we taking time to pray? Are we taking time
Yeah.
to say thank you, God? Are we taking time to check ourselves, our emotions? Are we calling on sisters or you know friends, whoever they may be, to just say hello, how you doing? I
Yeah.
do that with some customers. I have some clientele that was going through some things, and we have always had conversations. The boutique have
Mhm.
just come like a conversational place, so I take time to check up on them, or they check in with me, and we just talk, because it's just pretty much just being a vessel and building, helping each other, just build up. It's not all about competition.
Yeah.
And I've heard from AJ Johnson, there's no competition in God's economy.
Mhm.
There's no competition in God's economy. So,
Absolutely not. And I
and
love
I'm
that. Something that God placed in my spirit one day, because my platform is forgiveness and sharing, helping other people heal through the blessing that God has been in my life. And I see different people, not doing the same thing that I'm doing, but similar things. And it was just like I had this vision of this building exploding, and I just saw different pieces of the building landing in different places. And so
wow.
I see, and it's allowed for me to know that there are going to be people that are doing the same thing that you're doing. There are going to be people that may have even closer similar brands to what you have,
Yes.
but there is an explosion of everybody doing the same thing, and every individual piece is going to land where it's supposed to land, right? They're going to be fragments that land far from the building. They're going to be fragments that land close to the building. There are so many pieces of that building that explodes, but they're only going to land in one particular place, and where it lands is where it's supposed to be. So your people are your people who you're
Yes.
supposed to set. Like, I find that in my business, I can't sell to everybody. In my pet grooming business, not everybody am I meant to groom their dog. When I'm talking with people and we're sharing things on forgiveness, I don't have
Yeah.
that connection with everybody. But guess what? I know other people who are doing now forgiveness things where I can say, well, this person, like a man reached out to me. I'm not, I can't help you. God has
Mm.
placed it in my spirit to be there for my sisters, to be there for women. But I just met a man where, I'm like, oh, go see my brother. He's dealing with deep forgiveness. He got you. I ain't got you. He got you. So just, in that aspect, in that realm, look at it that way. And as you said, I've shared with you before, what God has for you is for you. But just to know that there are so many people in this world, and we cannot serve them all with the products and services that we have.
Yeah.
But God is going to make sure that they're going exactly to the person that they're destined to go to.
Yes. So I'm gonna continue working, 'cause it's a working process. I'm still forgiving myself, more and more every day. Um, I it's all about confidence with
Mhm,
women feeling beautiful on the outside, but definitely one of my assignments, of course, helping women from the inside as I continue to heal.
mhm.
I look forward to seeing other women healing. He even put something in my heart for second quarter, and I'll share a little bit with you on that later on. It's very, very powerful,
Mhm.
and I'm in prayer about it because it's going to take me trade marketing some stuff and so forth. But we are meant to
I,
just walk in confidence.
I like something that you just said, and I want to put a pin in that and illuminate it a little bit. You said that
Right.
that as you continue to heal,
Yes.
a lot of people think that if you go through a process or something like that, that you are totally healed, that because you're sharing all of these things, are going through, and that is transparency, that's realness, that's openness, that's honestness. I was talking to a really, really high, well sought after coach, and they were helping me in my processes. And I said, oh, they said something about me talking about my journey. And I said, woo, I still go through some things. And they said, no, 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 no. No, we're not going to share that you're still going through some things. We're just going to, no, because people need to know that I am real. If you pinch me, I am going to hurt. If you stick me with a knife, I am going to bleed just like you. And to share that, as I continue to heal, right? Because no, I may have strength in one area, but I may be weak in another area. So I'm going to continue to heal in that process. So I just wanted to put a pin in and illuminate that, because a lot of people think that because you're like yourself, you're on this platform, you're sharing, how you move from one place to the next place, how you release and how you forgiven yourself and the things that you have tapped into, but you're still in a process. And I love
Yeah.
that you can say that.
Yeah. And I tell you, God is something else. He telling me, go ahead and brand your mess.
Mm,
You know, you know, People look at me, Kiona, and I, you know, I look pretty cute on the screen, huh? The accessories, the lipstick. I got the hair done. Girl, I had an emergency hairstyle today. I didn't like what I had before. I called my girl. I said, this got to change. But anyway, I am the biggest introvert.
mm,
But it's one of the most unique and beautiful things about me, I would say. People would tell me, don't say that because you do your social media live and you do this and you do that.
mhm,
This is what it looks like when you're okay with being behind the scenes. If I could run my business behind the scenes, that's the way how I would run it. But
mm,
God said no. So as much as you are behind the scenes and this introvert, I have more for you, and you're gonna have to step forward. And that's walking in confidence. And
mm,
that's showing up. You know what I mean? So I would say that's one of the most beautiful thing about me, that I'm an introvert. But what everyone is seeing is God tapping me on the shoulder, because I never settled for some of these things. God tapped me on the shoulder and said, you set out to do this, but I have this for you. You know what I mean? And one of them involves speaking. You know what I mean? You are an author. You
Yeah.
know, God said, go ahead and brand your mess. So this is why that I'm sharing with you, even for the first time, Kiona. I'm actually sharing on your platform that there was a level of depression that started then. Okay. Um, but that only stayed for a time. But
Yeah.
something else evolved with depression that stemmed from inside my boutique.
Mm.
I think we're getting ready to come off. So that's probably going to be another conversation when it's time. Some
Oh, maybe
things
a
was
book.
some things was happening. Some
Mm-hmm.
things have occurred through the years that God said enough is enough. And
Mm.
there is a reason why he said when it's time to renew your lease, you're not going to let it go. And that's
Mm.
exactly what I did.
Amen.
So
Amen.
now, so so
I
so so
love
now
it.
I'm stepping out. So now that I'm stepping out to do these things, I now walk with this level of depression. Some things that happens, it's a up and down. But
Mm-hmm.
because I develop a relationship, because I can identify what I'm going through and identify where it came from,
Mm.
I'm able to walk through it. You know.
Amen.
And God
Amen.
said,
God.
go ahead and brand your mess. So I might be on stages talking in certain realms and talking about the not so pretty, and be okay
Mhm.
with that. And be okay,
Yeah.
because it's my mess, and there are individuals who go through it, but then they hide it. And why not just let it out? I'm tired of going round and round the mountain. I ain't like going round and round the mountain. God is like, you don't get this lesson? Okay, go do another lap. I've done so
Mhm.
many laps or whatnot. It's like I'm immune to this stuff now to an
Them
extent.
cycles. Them
So yeah.
cycles.
Yeah. So on that note, I also want to just thank you. And this, I can't say exactly who is on here, but I know Tawana, Regina may have been on here, Miss Lander. I really can't say, but I'll go in and answer back. But I just want to take this time even to just highlight you some more, and just say that you have just truly been an inspiration in my life. I can call on you, and I'm very protective of you, because I value who you are and what you stand for. You
Mhm.
are filled with so much information. You know what I mean? But I can call you and say, Kiona, what do you think about this situation? Or I'm going through this. And you share with me, you turn me on to individuals and so forth. And I don't take that for granted.
Yeah.
And I just want to pretty much end by saying this, because you are the definition of this, because you shared it with me. And I made a post on it at the end of me transitioning from the boutique. And what that is cheer for others.
Mm.
Cheer for others 2020 as loud as you can. Have your pom poms on. Cheer, cheer, cheer. But honey, do not forget to cheer for yourself.
Yes.
A
Yes.
lot of us is the biggest cheerleaders for others and neglecting what God have for us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Amen. I
This
receive.
Decide what cheerleaders you are. Yeah.
Yes, yes. I want to end with something you talked about, the depression, right? So I want us to really look at this really quickly before we go, and then we're going to
Mhm.
close out the show.
Yeah.
Uh, you want to look at those of us, there are a lot of us out here who deal with depression. I can raise both of my hands because it's been a true enemy of mine. But we all have these devices, we have these computers, we have, all of this technology, and there's something that we use to protect our technology, right? There's on your computer, you're going to get antivirus where but we are not protecting ourselves. We're not guarding ourselves. We're not girding ourselves with the word so that we can be protected. That's our antivirus. And so if we stay protected, we cannot let the download of depression come. We cannot let the download of all of these other illnesses that are in our mind that literally attack us so that we're not able to rock out and live our best lives and be the greatest potential that God has made us to be. So today, Joanna has shared about her depression battle. She has shared about what it's done to her and her business. She has shared about how being an entrepreneur has affected the relationship of her children. She just shared so many different things, and even the new journey. She shared what it was like before forgiveness, during the process of forgiveness, and where she's at now. And I want to thank you so very much for just actually taking the time to talk to us, to share with us here on Forgiveness Nation. This is Forgiveness Across the Nation. We do this show once a month, every third Thursday, and you have to get excited and get ready for tomorrow, because every week we do Forgiveness Friday, and we have Pastor James Sturdivant, and we will be talking about faith and forgiveness. There's a lot. There's a whole lot that he's gone through in the time that he served as a pastor in ministry learning, and we're going to dive deep into that and why his ministry is called Faith United Ministries. And don't forget, guys, next month coming up, we have the Live It, Do It, Be It 3-day confidence mastery. And let me tell you what God downloaded in me the other day in prayer. He said, you know what? You're going to set that free. It's going to be a free event. It's a 3-day virtual event, and God told me to allow it to be free. And so I made that call to my assistant. You said we got the team, right? So I made that call to my assistant and let her know that, we need to change everything. So if you guys go to Eventbrite, you can register. We're going to be in Forgiveness Nation group, and I will be going live for 3 days. I believe, don't quote the date. I think it's starting on the 18th, the 19th, and the 20th of February. So we give you some time to get through your Valentine's Day. Now we're going to work on the confidence piece so that you can learn to thrive through everything that you're going through and get excited for the interchange, right? Now, why is this tying in together? Because when God told me to make it free, he did some things on the back end and sent some things my way. So listen, that's one of the things that Joanna talked about, is paying attention to what God says and knowing when it's God speaking and to move on behalf of whatever he is saying to do. So I am excited that I am going to be before you all and share with you. I'm excited that you're going to tune in tomorrow. I'm excited that you're going to get your tickets for Live It, Do It, Be It. I'm excited for Joanna and the journey that she's going on in life. So guys, there we go. Ms. Lavender, I put it up on the screen. Lander, she put up the website to connect with Joanna to get some of these amazing, fabulous pieces. When I tell you these pieces are timeless, I've had them for like, what, 2-3 years now, and they still look brand new.
Yeah. Yeah.
Still look brand new. So I'm excited about that. So go, Joanna, if you have any last parting words, we're about to go. So you can leave something with the nation, something that you want to share.
Oh my goodness. No, what I said before, cheer for yourself also.
Share for yourself.
Cheer for yourself. Love up on yourself. We have to.
Yes, yes.
I want to
All
see women
right.
activate their inner gifts. We all have one.
Yes, yes, yes. We have Diane. She said she got so much out of attending last year's Live It, Do It, Be It 3-day confidence mastery. So I'm excited for those who will sign up and register for the free 3-day. 3 days I'm coming to you guys. God
I
said
will
it's for
be.
free. God said it's for free. And it's some stuff, y'all, that he done downloaded in me. And I am excited to share it with the nation. So I am going to say goodbye to you for now, Joanna. Thanks for tuning in. And I know you're in the nation, so I'll see you around. Bye, girl. All right, guys, thank you for tuning in. It's been truly amazing sharing time with you all tonight. I pray that you have received something. I pray that you have gone over the set aside prayer that we said, and I pray that you have set things to the side so that you do not take in with you the old, and so that you have a new beginning. Here it is for some of you who may have missed it in the beginning of this broadcast. God, please set aside everything that I think I know about myself, my brokenness, my spiritual path, and even you, Lord. I pray for an open mind and a new experience of myself, understanding my spiritualness, understanding my brokenness, my spiritual path, and especially you. Guys, it has been amazing. I will see you tomorrow on Forgiveness Friday. All right, guys, talk to you later. Be blessed.